All right, San Antonio Spurs beat the Dallas Mavericks 138 to 125. Stephon Castle's amazing. He has a 40-point triple-double. We'll get to the player stats and all that in a second, but of course, Stephon Castle has the best game of his career, and he looked just totally amazing out there. First things first, we're good enough to kind of blow out teams. We'll kind of get up big in the first half, and then we get to the third quarter. Y'all probably already know we start to have not the greatest third quarters. We usually don't. This game was kind of the same. We got in the third quarter. Dallas started to chip away a little bit. Then Devin Vassell just knocking down all these mid-range jumpers. Stephon Castle keeps hooping. Wemby he had like a fake. He fakes the one-footed three and passes to Vassell. Then Vassell throws him the lob. And I think that was off of a block. I think Wemby blocked Cooper Flag right before that play. So just an amazing team game, honestly. Of course, Stephon Castle has the 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 12 assists. Again, we'll get to him in a second. Another thing, too, we're probably the deepest team in the NBA. I don't think that's unfair to say. Denver probably has more top-end talent than us, just with Jokic, Jamal Murray. They're missing Aaron Gordon right now as well. They added Valanciunas. I think Denver's probably the best team in the NBA, in my opinion. You could definitely argue that we're the best team in the NBA, but if someone just told me, hey, the Nuggets are the best team in the NBA, I'm not going to sit there and have a huge argument, about that with them. But the one knock on the Spurs, if you aren't a Spurs fan, if you are a Spurs fan, I think the only knock you can really have on us is just our lack of playoff experience. Almost like the Thunder. I think they were the number one seed either 2 or 3 years in a row. I want to say it was 2 years in a row. They're the number one seed. They get knocked out. I want to say in the conference finals, the Western Conference Finals, back-to-back years. Make their trade, get Caruso, get Hartenstein, end up winning the championship. I think that's kind of where we're at, where OKC was about 2 or 3 years ago when they got that first number one seed. With that being said, though, I think our team is better than that OKC team. We're just a more talented team than them. Before they traded for Caruso and Hartenstein, just SGA just being amazing like he always is out there. But, their second option, I guess it was SGA, then J-Dub was their second option. We have Wembanyama, of course, is our first option. I think De'Aaron Fox or Stephon Castle are both better second options than J-Dub is, just depending on who's hot that night. I don't think Devin Vassell is so much a better second option than J-Dub. I think it's fair to say that he's not, but he's a better third option than Chet Holmgren. And I just think our team is just better than OKC was 2 years ago when they first got their number one seed. I think we're a better team than OKC right now. Again, I personally think we probably are the best team in the NBA. I don't think that's unfair to say or a crazy thing to say. But again, just the lack of playoff experience. Playoff experience is definitely a real thing. And we'll see how things look once we get into the playoffs. But we won by 13 points. It was an absolute massacre, though. We were up, I want to say 28 points at one time. That's one thing I always say about our team. Like I said before, we can get up big in the first half. Third quarter comes, and we never just stomp teams out. Just the first game of the year, honestly, that first game against the Mavericks, that was the only time when we came out and just stomped a team from start to finish. We were up 40 points at one point in that game. I was kind of hoping we would have done that again in this game, but we were never worried about losing the game at all. I think they chipped the lead down to like 17 points in the fourth quarter, and I was kind of worried, I guess. Again, my only criticism would be that we didn't blow it up to a 35-point lead and just sit our starters the whole fourth quarter. But we're just not quite there yet. Game in and game out, just to be blowing teams out over and over again. We have the 65 rebounds. We have 65. They have the 51 rebounds, so we crushed them pretty good on the glass. We have 34 assists. They have 35. Pretty much a wash there. Honestly, De'Aaron Fox was getting ISO buckets. Of course, Stephon Castle was getting all sorts of unassisted buckets. Same thing with Devin Vassell. He was just destroying it in the mid-range. So it's pretty much a wash on the assist. They have 10 steals. We have 5. One glaring thing, we had 16 turnovers. They had the 7 turnovers. So we were pretty sloppy with the ball, to be honest. If we have 10 or less turnovers, I consider that a good game as far as taking care of the ball goes. 16 turnovers, we'll just call it what it is. It's horrible as far as taking care of the ball goes. 16 turnovers is not what we want to do. It's honestly not really an acceptable thing. We'll get to the player stats in a second, but I know off the top of my head, Stephon Castle did have the 6 turnovers, but we'll get to that in a moment. We shot 56% from the field for the entire game. just ridiculous. Our whole team is just on fire all game long. Dallas shoots 44% from the field, so our defense gave them all sorts of trouble, and we were just on fire offensively. Both teams shoot 40% from three. We don't do a great job of guarding the three-point line, but it didn't really bite us in this game. We're 70% from the free throw line. They're 75%. That's another thing. We've been a bit off from the free throw line these past few games. Wemby missed 3 free throws. No, he missed five free throws in the Thunder game last game. We'll get to Wemby stats in a second, but I know he missed a handful of free throws in this game as well. One more point I want to make before we get into these stats. I think it was Sean Elliott that mentioned it. We have 8 players that are averaging 10 or more points on the whole team. So I think we are definitely the deepest team in the NBA. Like I said before, I think Denver has more top-end talent, but I think we're the deepest team in the NBA. If we finish out the season with 8 players averaging 10 points or more, that'll be an NBA record as far as how many players we would have in double digits. That would be the NBA record for players on one team averaging 10 points or more. So hopefully we can keep it up and we can actually get that record, because that's just an awesome record. You should be really proud of your team for being that deep. Dallas has 50 points in the paint. We have 74. Stephon Castle was just destroying them down there. Same thing with Wemby. We usually win points in the paint. We should more often than not, but Wemby's not really a gigantic low post threat quite yet. He likes to get the ball more like right there at the free throw line in the mid-range area, which is a step in the right direction from last year when he was really just shooting a bunch of threes. That was just for Wemby to develop his three ball, but this year we can all see he's making a way more concerted effort just to catch the ball right there at the free throw line. He can pull up right there and knock it down at a high clip. He can get off the dribble. Just the closer to the rim he catches the ball, the more fouls he tends to draw, and Wemby's been doing a great job just getting to the free throw line all season long. We have the 16 second chance points. They have 8. We doubled them up, but it wasn't a huge difference. We normally win second chance points as well with Keldon Johnson, Wemby, and Luke Kornet just attacking the offensive glass. 28 fast break points to 18, so we beat Dallas in the fast break points as well. Moving on, we'll start with Luke Kornet. He's 3 for 3. He has the 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He had a solid game. I always say with Luke Kornet, he could have like 2 points and 5 rebounds and still make a huge impact on the game. He's always in the right place at the right time. He does a great job just playing that drop coverage. And when I watch Luke Kornet play, I don't think it's happened one time all season, to be honest, where Luke Kornet makes a play and I'm just thinking, what the fuck are you doing out there, Luke Kornet? You should not be trying to do that. He just plays. He knows his role and he doesn't do anything outside his role. He just attacks the glass. He just rolls. He sets hard screens. And he's been such a huge pickup for us, honestly. We had no backup center last season, and you can see how much better we look having a backup center in Luke Kornet. Keldon Johnson has the 8 points on 3 for 5 shooting, 4 rebounds. No offensive rebounds this game, but it's all good. He does have the 4 turnovers, so that's pretty rough out there. Keldon, I always say, he's so great in his new role. He's just the 6th man for us now. He should win 6th man of the year if he can keep up this play and if we can hold on to the number 2 or 3 seed, but Keldon just comes in off the bench. He drives really hard to his right hand, or he might drive to the left, but he's just going to spin right back to the right hand, and he just bullies dudes down there. If you're a guard trying to guard Keldon Johnson, he's too strong for you. If you're a forward trying to guard Keldon Johnson, he's just too quick for you. His 3-point selection's been so great this season as well. He kind of only shoots threes if he's wide open. Even if the three's slightly contested, he catches the ball, finds the seams, tucks his elbow in, and just kind of takes his time shooting his 3 balls. With the 4 turnovers, again, that's really bad. 4 turnovers isn't good. There was one play where Keldon, he was trying to kind of cook off the dribble, and he got ripped. That's one thing. I don't really want Keldon trying to be like a playmaker and make plays for other guys. I just like him to come in. It was kind of a detriment last season. All of Keldon's career, to be honest, he'll have tunnel vision a lot of the time, and it works out more often than not, to be honest, but I like him playing with the tunnel vision. Just catch the ball, try to shoot a 3, try to drive hard to your right hand. It's not a selfish thing, but when he's trying to play make for everyone else, it can kind of result in him having the 4 turnovers like tonight. With Keldon, the less dribbles he takes, the better. Just catch it, dribble hard to the right. If Keldon gets 2 feet in the paint and he takes a right-handed shot, it's going in like 80% of the time. Harrison Barnes, he's 3 for 5 from 3, has the 9 points. Does come off the bench again in this game. he's been playing better for us off the bench, to be honest. Even if Harrison Barnes, he was so on fire to start this season, he was going to keep his starting role. But that was like the first 10 or 15 games of the season. He's shooting 50% from three, literally 50% for like the first 10 or 15 games of the season. He was leading the NBA in 3-point percentage at the time. And then it's been like 20, 25 games. He's been shooting like lower 30% from three. We all see it. He's been really cold out there. Now he's coming off the bench, knocks down the 3 threes off the bench. I said probably 5 games ago, I lost all confidence in Harrison Barnes. I don't take that back. I had lost all confidence in him. But with that being said, it doesn't mean he can't regain my confidence back. Harrison doesn't care. He doesn't know who I am, but he can regain my confidence back. And he's starting to. Even if Harrison Barnes gets on fire from three again, I think he's best coming off the bench for us. When we start Fox, Castle, Champagny, Vassell, and Wemby, like we did tonight, we have 4 guys out there that can really knock down the three. Stephon Castle isn't a great three-point shooter, but he does knock down three tonight as well. But I'd like us to keep bringing Harrison Barnes and off the bench. I always kind of compare him and Julian Champagny. If Champagny's three ball is off, he usually gives us a lot as far as just grabbing rebounds out there. He only had 2 tonight, but the 1 steal and 1 block gives us more of an impact defensively than Harrison Barnes. He's a better rebounder. He's a better shooter, to be honest. Just a better all-around player. That's the thing. When Harrison Barnes' three ball is off, it wasn't tonight, but it's been off for a while. He doesn't give us a lot defensively, rebounding, playmaking, where Julian Champagny gives us more. He just does more of those glue guy things in the margins than Harrison Barnes does. But I'm getting my confidence back in Harrison Barnes. Like I said again, I don't think he should come back in the starting lineup. Even if he just gets on fire from three again, he just gives us a big spark off the bench. And I like him playing next to Dylan Harper out there. Carter Bryant, we always love the Carter Bryant sightings. He's starting to get just more and more minutes out there. At this point, I've seen enough from Carter Bryant. I think he should get 15 minutes or more every single game. I was preaching for Carter Bryant to start over Harrison Barnes when Harrison Barnes was cold. Again, his three ball starting to come back, but I still think Carter Bryant would be a better starting option than Harrison Barnes, but probably just keep bringing both those guys off the bench. Carter Bryant's not going to knock Champagny. He's definitely not going to knock Devin Vassell or Stephon Castle out of their starting role. So he's just been so great for us off the bench. He takes 11 shots for 11 points. It's not very efficient. I always say if you have the same amount of shots as you do points, that's usually a pretty inefficient night. But he knocks down three threes. They were just leaving him open out there, just disrespecting him, and he made him pay for it. The 5 rebounds, 3 blocks, that's nuts. No turnovers out there either. So Carter plays really well within his role. Also, he is a rookie. We can see him get really excited out there at times. He had a missed dunk in the fourth quarter. I think Wemby threw him a lob and he missed the dunk. He has missed probably 4 or 5 dunks this season. He gets so excited. He's such a high flyer. He just gets excited and misses dunks sometimes. But again, like I was saying, there's no reason for Carter Bryant to get anything less than 15 minutes per game. He should get 15 minutes or more every single game. I consider him an elite defender. He doesn't have the defensive IQ quite yet. That's just going to come with more and more reps. When he's in the right place at the right time, he makes a lot of huge plays defensively, plays great on-ball defense, really versatile defensively as well. And I just love to see Carter Bryant getting more and more minutes out there. His three-point shot, it looks beautiful. I'm not sure what his three-point percentage is right now. Whatever it is, that doesn't exactly define what he is as a shooter. He shoots 42% tonight. I want to say Carter's probably like a 35 or 36% three-point shooter if he keeps getting those opportunities. But we'd love to see Carter Bryant out there. And again, for the third time, he should get 15 or more minutes every single game. There's no reason for him to get less than 15 minutes. One more quick thing on Harrison Barnes. He played 29 minutes last game. He's at 22 this game. I think that's perfect. Like 20 to 25 minutes based on how hot Harrison Barnes is that night. I think that's perfect for the team and Harrison Barnes. He's a veteran. He's not opposed to coming off the bench. He just wants to do whatever helps the team win the most. So I still love Harrison. It's not like I don't like the guy. I just think he's been cold from three, but he's starting to kind of get his stroke back. Moving on, Dylan Harper has the 11 points. He's 5 for 8 out there. Does knock down his 1-3, 5 assists and 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Dylan just impacts the game in all areas of the game, honestly. He's very good defensively. He plays really good on-ball defense. He loves to get chase down blocks. I want to say his one block, it definitely was. He did get one chase down block, and that was his block in this game. Moves his feet really well. Does a good job playing defense without fouling. Just moves laterally. I think he's been chilling with De'Aaron Fox a lot because De'Aaron does a great job of that as well. Just playing defense with your feet. When you get an opportunity to steal the ball, De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper both have great hands. So I think he's been getting some tutelage from De'Aaron Fox just as far as playing defense by sliding your feet laterally. Don't play with your hands too much, but when you see the ball, swipe at the ball, and he's done a great job just playing defense out there. The 1 3 he made, you can kind of tell when Dylan Harper's three is going to be off. When he rushes it, maybe he jumps forward too much. He's not on balance, but I've been noticing as the season goes on, he's doing a better job just getting 2 feet underneath him, jump straight up and down, guide hand, follow through, and his three ball has been looking it's been looking pretty solid, honestly, these past few games. So we'll see if he can keep that up. He's just amazing getting downhill and finishing at the rim. His three ball is just kind of like a cherry on top. He's gonna have to knock down threes for us. Same thing with Carter Bryant. For him to get more minutes during the playoffs, but Dylan Harper is gonna get playoff minutes. He's just too good out there not to get those minutes in the playoffs. I want to say he blocked Cooper Flag, if I'm not mistaken. I think or no, it was the chase down block. Someone got a nasty block on Cooper Flag. I think it was Wemby. Moving on, though, we'll get to Stephon Castle last, of course. De'Aaron Fox, the 15 points. He's 54% from the field. His three ball it's been a bit off these past probably 5 games or so, to be honest. 5 assists, 2 rebounds. He does have the 3 turnovers, so De'Aaron Fox can be a bit turnover prone at times. We had Stephon Castle pretty much running the show all game long. He was running the show at point guard. I still think once we get to playoffs, De'Aaron Fox and Dylan Harper are just better natural point guards than Stephon Castle. I think they take better care of the ball. And De'Aaron Fox, let me know if y'all think so. I think he's just been in cruise control. He's not really worried about the regular season. He wants to get to the playoffs. And at this point in De'Aaron Fox's career, he just wants to have playoff success. He's not worried about having 30, 35-point games in the regular season. I think he really could care less about what his stats look like in the regular season. But we'll notice it with De'Aaron Fox. When things aren't going well, when the team is kind of cold, De'Aaron will step up. He'll take more shots and give us the scoring we need. But like tonight, he saw Stephon Castle is fucking on fire, dude. De'Aaron Fox said, all right, bro, I'm just going to get you the ball. I don't need to do too much tonight. But I think it was just last game, De'Aaron Fox had 15 points and 10 assists. So he's still a great playmaker for us. I think he's a better option to run the show and be the primary ball handler than Stephon Castle. Looking at tonight, it's easy to say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, bro. Stephon Castle is a god out there. He looked like one. I love Stephon Castle, but I still think De'Aaron Fox is a better primary ball handler, especially once we get to the playoffs. Devin Vassell, we miss Devin so bad. He's 7 for 15 for the 17 points. Felt like all 7 shots were mid-range jumpers except for his 1 3 ball he knocked down. 6 assists and 4 rebounds. The 6 assists is really impressive. Devin's not a huge playmaking guy, so if he has 5 assists or more, I'm always really proud of him for doing that. Forgot who he blocked, but he had 1 block. He only had 1 turnover. Devin Vassell doesn't get a lot of opportunities to turn over the ball because he doesn't dribble the ball very much. He comes off a curl, catches it 1 or 2 dribbles. I'm at the free throw line. Nasty, beautiful fade away from the free throw line. Devin Vassell just has such a smooth, silky game, and he might be our best scorer, to be honest. He's at least like our most versatile scorer. Him and De'Aaron Fox, I guess you could throw Wemby in there, but I think him and De'Aaron Fox are just our 2 best 3-level scorers. They can get in the paint and score. They can knock down threes. Devin Vassell, he's easily our best mid-range shooter. And you see how much better our offense looks having Devin Vassell out there. It's not just the 17 points we're missing. We're missing a guy that can come off a curl, dribble, get to the free throw line, and have somebody have to step up and respect his mid-range jumper. I saw in this game, he had at least 1 or 2 lobs to Luke Cornett, where that's the exact thing that happens. Comes off the curl, they pass him the ball, 2 dribbles. He's at the free throw line. Gafford, whoever it was, they would step up. Luke Cornett's rolling, easy lob up top to Luke Cornett. He had 1 to Victor Wembanyama as well. So he just really opens up our offense. We're missing a mid-range threat so much. People say the mid-range shot is dead, but all the best teams in the NBA, they have a mid-range threat. Of course, OKC has SGA, the Nuggets have Jamal Murray, the Rockets have KD. It's really hard. It's really hard to be successful in the playoffs without having a mid-range threat. And Devin Vassell, he's the number one guy we look for the mid-range scoring. So we're so happy to have Vassell back. I think that was, we'll get to Wembanyama. I usually save Wemby for last, but today is Stephon Castle's day. Wemby has the 16 points on 14 shots. Not great efficiency. He's 1 for 6 from 3. His 3 ball has been off lately, but I'd like to see him just keep letting him fly, to be honest. I'm sure he will. I'm not worried about Wemby. I'm really never worried about Wemby, to be honest. But the 16 points, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, 1 assist, 0 turnovers. That's kind of the biggest thing. I love to see Wemby keep the turnovers low. Earlier in the season, Wemby, I would notice if he's out beyond the 3-point line, he starts trying to dribble the ball and start trying to cook it. Usually doesn't end well. If he's trying to go off the dribble, if he's up against like a 7-footer, he's trying to go off the dribble and go to a step back 3. I don't mind that when we ISO Wemby trying to just cook off the dribble for a 3-ball. But as soon as he beats that first defender off the dribble, and usually does, he can usually beat 7-footers off the dribble. So he gets off the dribble, he beats that first defender, dribble is inside the 3-point line, the help starts coming, and I noticed Wemby, he would get ripped a lot when that would happen. Maybe he tries to make a decision and make a pass, and he might make a bad pass or turn the ball over. I've noticed as the season goes on, we're doing such a better job of getting Wemby the ball right there at the elbow, right there at the free throw line. I mentioned it earlier. He turns around. He's right there in the Dirk Nowitzki area, gets the triple threat. He can just rise right up at the free throw line, and I love that shot. 90% of the time, he can knock those down at a really high clip. And, people are trying to put physical, like a 6'8", 6'9" defender that's really physical. They try to get up underneath Wemby. He's going to the rip throughs. He'll take one dribble, go to a rip through again to try to get into his layups. He's doing such a better job of just drawing fouls and getting to the free throw line this season. Last season, he's jacking up a bunch of threes. Everyone that's not a Spurs fan is saying, oh, what the fuck? Wemby thinks he's Steph Curry out there. He's just taking all these threes. I'm a basketball genius, dude. Wemby's 7'6". He should be at the rim, dude. Tall, rim, dunk the ball, don't shoot threes. Spurs fans know Wemby was just taking 9 threes last season just to develop his 3-ball. We're playing for the number 2 pick. We weren't trying to have any playoff success last season, especially after Wembanyama's blood clot. So, Wemby, he was shooting all those threes just so we can develop his 3-ball, so we can feel more comfortable out there if he does have to get into an isolation against a 7-footer and shoot a 3-ball off the dribble. But, this year he's cut back. He's taking like 4 or 5 threes per game, I think, this season. And again, Wemby wasn't taking 9 threes last season because he's trying to be Steph Curry. He was just doing that to develop his 3-ball. Now we have De'Aaron Fox, we have Dylan Harper, Castle's getting better. We have guys that can actually give Wemby a good entry pass into the post. He's gotten stronger, so he can set a better seal to catch the ball right there in the mid-range area and draw more fouls, get to that free throw line jumper. If he wants, he can take a dribble and step back for a 3. But let me know if y'all agree. I've noticed Wemby's most effective right there in the mid-post area. Like people were saying, Wemby tall, dunk. Shaquille O'Neal, get him the ball right there underneath the rim. I agree with those people as well, but Wemby, he's just not strong enough yet to just seal somebody right underneath the basket. And then they just swarm him with double teams and triple teams. Before he even gets the ball, they're just trying to deny him and not let him get the ball down there in the low post. But when those corner guys come down to try to deny that entry pass, it just leaves Vassell, Champagnie, Harrison Barnes open for more 3-balls. So Wemby, you already know he's always impacting the game. It's different than Steph Curry. I guess Shaquille O'Neal is an okay example. When Shaq's down in the paint, everyone's trying to deny him the ball, and it just gets more open shots for his teammates, even when he doesn't even touch the ball at all. But yeah, Wemby's 3-ball's been a bit off. I'm not too worried about it. Once we get into next season, Wemby's going to come back. He's going to put on 5 or 10 more pounds of muscle, and then probably next season we're going to try to get him touches even closer to the rim. But, people say that about Wemby, tall, dunk. They would say the same thing about Dirk Nowitzki and Kevin Durant. But Wemby's a finesse player. He's never going to be Shaquille O'Neal. But maybe he'll be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as his career goes on. Kareem was the most dominant scorer of all time, basically, and Kareem was never some big physical bruiser of a player. So Wemby, I'm sure y'all aren't worried, but he's going to be just fine. And then on to our God and Savior, dude. Stephon Castle was a fucking beast out there. There was one point, he was like 11 for 11 or 12 for 12. He's just making all of his shots. He's 3 for 5 from 3. He was 3 for 3 from 3 at one point, 3 for 3 from 3 at one point, and Stephon Castle, he has a nice looking three ball. He tucked his elbow in. One critique I have of Stephon Castle, even the threes he made this game, he always liked to take threes like 1 foot beyond the arc for some reason. I guess he feels like his three ball, I think he feels like it's usually on line, but he shoots it too hard at times. So I feel like he takes that one step to be like 1 foot behind the 3-point line to kind of compensate for his shot being too strong at times. But his stroke looks really good. He knocks down 3 for 5 this game. Stephon, I feel like sometimes if he's taking a three off the dribble, I don't like it. I never like it. I feel like sometimes he will force his 3-point shot. Sometimes he'll take ill-advised threes when we could have just kept moving the ball around and gotten a better shot. Sometimes he'll shoot contested threes. With Castle, I like Keldon shooting threes better than Castle. But with Stephon, this game, a lot of the threes he was taking, swing, 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 he's wide open in the corner, swing, 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 he's wide open on the wing, and he just has to take the shot because the defense is disrespecting him. So that's when I like to see him take threes. I thought all 5 of his 3 balls were good looks this game. Just catch it off ball movement. Like I said, if he's shooting threes off the dribble, I never like it unless it's like the end of the shot clock. But as his 3 ball develops more and more, maybe he'll be able to shoot threes off the dribble as his career goes on. But that's not even his game. He has the 3 ball in there just to keep the defense honest. He'll keep getting better at it as his career goes on. But the most impressive thing from Stephon Castle for me this game, again, he's probably hanging out with De'Aaron Fox. Dribble, dribble, get in the paint. He sees he can't get all the way to the rim. A lot of his career, I'll notice with Stephon Castle, in and out, crossover. There's a 7-footer. All right, fuck the 7-footer. Just jump into him, car crash. Maybe the foul gets called. A lot of the time it doesn't get called because referees don't really respect Stephon Castle. So far, he's trying to get a bit more respect, but he goes to the rim a lot. He'll get hacked. He doesn't flop. They don't call the call. And, it's Stephon Castle's fault at the end of the day for jumping into a 7-footer and driving into a car crash. But in this game, I would notice dribble, dribble, his defender's on him. He sees the 7-footer. He could drive past his defender and get into a car crash at the rim with the 7-footer, but instead, shoulder bump, step back, shoot a little jumper like just outside the restricted area, the same area De'Aaron Fox likes to get to. He knocked down probably at least 4 or 5 of those little, not even mid-range jumpers. Like, this is the restricted area. He's like 1 or 2 steps behind the restricted area. It's basically floater range, but he's taking mid-range jumpers. He knocked down like 4 or 5 of those, and I was just so happy to see that from Stephon Castle. I'm always preaching Stephon Castle. He should develop a floater. He pretty much never shoots floaters or teardrops, but in this game, instead of shooting floaters and teardrops again, he was getting to that mid-range shot, knocked down like 4 or 5 of those, and I love to see that. It seems like he's working on that shot, and that would just unlock his offense so much more. Because like I said, a lot of the time, he's just trying to get all the way to the rim and getting in car crashes with 7-footers. But this game, he was more patient, and he was getting to that mid-range. It's just fucking ridiculous. He's 15 for 19. He shoots 79% from the field, knocks down 3 of his 5 threes. That was like a little cherry on top, but his 3 ball was looking good. He takes 10 free throw attempts, so finally starting to get some respect from the officials. It makes me mad because Anthony Edwards, Stephon Castle, Donovan Mitchell, a lot of these more physical guards, they'll drive downhill, they won't flop, they'll get the shit hacked out of them, they don't flop, and then the officials don't call a foul for them because they didn't exaggerate the contact. Then they'll reward, I won't name any names, y'all know who I'm talking about, they'll reward floppers because they go to the rim and they'll barely get brushed and they'll just fall over and act like they got shot. So that's what'll frustrate me. I've said before, I think Stephon Castle should just adopt some flopping. I hate to say it. I hate to see players flop, but I feel like he would probably get more free throws if he did flop and exaggerate contact some more. He has tried a couple flops this season. He's not good at flopping. which is a compliment, but I always say do whatever you can to win the game. And Castle wasn't flopping this game, but I guess the officials are starting to give him more respect, at least hopefully. He has the 12 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, 1 block. Towards the end of the game, I think he had 6 rebounds. He knew he was close to a triple-double, and he started chasing the triple-double, and I'm here for it, bro. Get your 40-point triple-double, Steph. He had 26 points at one point. I was like, man, Stephon Castle is playing pretty good out there. And you look at the stat sheet, he has 26 points. He was like 10 for 10 at the time. It was like a Timmy Duncan game where Tim Duncan has, where you're watching, you're like, man, Tim's having a good game. Then you look at the stat sheet and he has fucking 28 points. That's how it felt with Stephon Castle. I remember he was at 26 points. Sean Elliott called it out. Stephon's going to have this 30-point game. He gets to 30. Before you know it, he's at 40 points. He gets to 30. He's at 6 rebounds. He starts chasing the triple-double. Again, I'm here for it. We're blowing out the Mavs. Get your triple-double, bro. Gets the triple-double. I think he got 40 points before he got the triple-double, to be honest. But he's at 30. Just keeps it rolling. He gets the nasty-ass putback dunk to get his triple-double. And Stephon Castle was just amazing out there. I'm still going to stand on. I think De'Aaron Fox is a better primary ball handler. I think we'd be better off in the playoffs having De'Aaron Fox or Dylan Harper when Dylan Harper is in the game running the show. I like Stephon Castle better as a secondary playmaker and ball handler. He did that at UConn. He played off the ball a whole lot at UConn. He was still an incredible player. Played off the ball pretty much all last year with Chris Paul. He's still an incredible player. This game, he did run the show as the point guard, and he was amazing. Pretty much everything was amazing. The only thing, kind of the first thing I look at when I look at Stephon Castle, he did have the 6 turnovers. So I'm not going to harp on it, act like it ruined his game. He had fucking 40 points and 12 rebounds and 12 assists and 3 steals and 1 block. He had an incredible game, but just because he had an incredible game doesn't mean I'm going to ignore the 6 turnovers. That's what I'm talking about, basically. Everything was great. There'll be games. Stephon Castle, he always impacts the game in a huge way. Even if he's off offensively, which he definitely wasn't this game, he's always having a huge impact defensively. Speaking of defense, he was on Cooper flag for most of the game, and he still played crazy lockdown, hard-nosed defense, and then still gave us 40 points and 12 rebounds and 12 assists. He did that in 32 minutes. It's just an insane game for Stephon Castle. But, again, I still feel like De'Aaron Fox would be our better primary playmaker in the playoffs, but Stephon Castle was just so on fire tonight. De'Aaron Fox said, it's all good, bro. Same thing with Dylan Harper. Our whole team, honestly, just get the ball, Steph. Get your 40-point triple-double. All the boys were so proud of him at the end of the game. Everyone's pouring water on him and shit and giving him little noogies and shit like that. But Castle was amazing. Game of his career. The Bucks were we were kind of exploring trading for Giannis. I don't think we were ever too serious about it, but we made the call to the Bucks. They were asking for, I think, Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle. We said, fuck no, you can't have either one of those players. I think all the Spurs fans knew why at that point. I think we all knew Castle and Harper were untouchable as Spurs fans. Fan bases from other teams' fan bases were saying, oh, what the fuck, the Spurs could have gotten Giannis. They should have traded Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle and gotten Giannis's 30-year-old ass. I would have loved us to get Giannis, but again, we're not trading Castle. We're not trading Dylan Harper for anybody, and most likely they're going to be Spurs for their entire career. It's Castle, it's Harper, it's Wemby. That's our big 3, and we're ready to keep it rolling, but just amazing game for Stephon Castle, dude. Who's the youngest player in NBA history to have a 40-point triple-double? I'm sure he wasn't because they would have mentioned it, but, to be 22 years old, 21 or 22, I think Steph might still be 21, dude, and just incredible game for Stephon Castle. He doesn't lack any confidence, but this is not going to hurt. He's just going to be even more confident. Hopefully he'll get more confident in his 3-ball, and then, again, like I was saying, he was just so on fire. We're just feeding him the ball this game. Once we get in the playoffs, I'd like to see him and De'Aaron Fox kind of going back and forth. And I still like De'Aaron Fox better, as our primary ball handler. But Man, Stephon Castle just fucking amazing this game. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 7 million subscribers. Let me know what you thought about the entire team's performance, especially Stephon Castle. And we'll see y'all next time. Peace out, bro.